Oh, man. Welcome back to the gray space. Did I say that right?
You did.
I'm Zeke. That's Dre.
Yippers.
And we are back with just me and you, man.
Yeah, man. Make sure y'all subscribe to become part of the tribe. Do us right. Hit that like, comment because you are rocking with the content. If you're listening, hit that review. Give us 5 stars all across the board. And hit that link tree. Follow us everywhere. Now, the reason you asked this question, did you say that right? Because we've been shooting all day.
Yeah.
And it's been nothing but what you heard reviews and spotlights, man.
Yeah.
So we didn't know what show we are in.
Man, my brain went, did I say that right?
We are in a parallel universe. We are in a parallel universe.
We are in a parallel universe,
for sure,
man. Earth number 55.
Earth number 5011. You know what I'm saying?
Shoot.
Yeah, well, I get myself situated here.
Yep. Yep.
Got a little, got something I want to talk about, man.
What do we got today? I
Got something I want to talk about. And this is a multi-part question. I don't know how we attack all of it. We might not be able to, but, recently, Ja Morant, star of the Memphis Grizzlies, one of the brighter stars, young stars in the NBA, was suspended for 25 games for a video
On Instagram
that the homie took of him brandishing. I got to say this the way that the media is going to say it,
right.
Brandishing a weapon. Mm-hmm. He was holding the pistol. And he had already had a prior incident that gave him a 8-game suspension last season. So this happened postseason when this incident happened. So the first incident happened during the season. He was suspended 8 games. And then this incident happened postseason. There's also been multiple incidents where he's been involved in either acts of violence or having a weapon on him. Mm-hmm. That's not my question. Is not really about Ja Morant in particular.
Yeah, just it's just sparked your brain.
Sparked my brain a little bit because, you know, what he did was not illegal.
Right.
Him having a firearm where he had it and being on camera with it was not illegal. Now, obviously, it's not a good look for the NBA, right? One of your stars is riding around with a weapon, but there's also a larger conversation about weapons that we're not going to have here today, but that is an ongoing conversation.
Correct.
And we do know that the disparity between certain people having weapons and other people having weapons is large. Mm-hmm. But it led me to a couple of questions. And I think the first of which I want to ask is these young men and young women and non-binary, and put them all in there, young athletes throughout history have entered into leagues that pay them, especially in recent history, millions of dollars. Mm-hmm. They're coming into a financial security that most people will never see in their lives. Coming into financial responsibility that most people will never see in their lives. Coming into stardom, fame that most people will never see in their lives. And I asked the question, do these leagues need to make it mandatory for these young athletes to have a team around them, right? So, you know, when they read you the Miranda, right? If you don't have a lawyer, one will be appointed to you.
Right.
I think in these leagues, especially for the higher draft picks, the guys that are going to be more out in the open, that you can't just cut ties with financially. You can't just, you've drafted them. You've invested into these young men and women, and especially young men. I'm really talking for the young men, right? And really the young black men. But you put a lot of money into these young men, and your future, their future is all tied into each other. And it's kind of like you get this money, and how can you fumble the bag? It's always the question. Wow, you getting paid such and such. How you out here being irresponsible? Mm-hmm. And look, man, it don't matter what you getting paid. I think wherever you're at mentally, socially, is going to affect you. And so I asked the question, do these teams need to have a PR person, need to have a financial advisor that's appointed? And I mean, not a team one that is kind of a team one, but is appointed to you directly. Not a chaperone, but maybe somebody that's paying attention to your moves. Right. Somebody that is calling in to check on you. Mm-hmm. Or maybe that you got to call in and say, hey, I'm going to club such and such. Who you going with? Right. You know what I'm saying? Maybe checking the people around you. Do we need to have a checks and balance system for these young athletes?
So real quick, I want to say, especially about finances, I'm going to start there real quick.
For sure.
That is severely broken in this country just to begin with.
Right.
It's not taught. It's not, and I know we're talking about, athletes and stuff, but I really want to say that first and foremost, because I think it's a big problem straight up across the board.
1,000%.
I understand most people aren't going to be making what they're making, but just finances in general, just having a general knowledge, nobody has really any idea.
Right.
Like young people, unless you're taught by somebody that knows what they're talking about.
Right.
So that's a huge problem just to begin with. It's like 90-some%. It's got to be. Right? They just don't know about finances.
Especially in this country.
Just in general. Yeah. Right? Taxes being taken out.
Right.
So, okay, let's transfer that to athletes. Okay? Because it's millions of dollars. Mm-hmm. And 100%, I think. So, everything you said, I agree with. But I think it should be part of a contract. And I think that would be the better way to go. Right?
Yes. So,
you still get your whatever. Let's just make it. Let's just make it easy. Let's just say $1 million. This is what you get paid. You get paid $1 million for the first 2 or 3 years, whatever it is, right? For the contract, whatever the rookie contract
let's say 4
is.
years.
Okay, so you get $1 million a year, but we're going to pay on top of that. Let's say we're going to pay for you to have a financial advisor. You're going to have a mentor. You're going to have whatever, these little offshoots, right? Whatever you need, right? Could they get paid more money? Yeah, maybe they could have started out with $5 million.
Right.
But we're not going to give you $5 million yet.
Right.
First of all, you got to prove yourself in some sort of way.
Of course.
Right?
Of course. And that's traditional.
Right. Like most rookie contracts anyways, right, aren't huge. They're still millions of dollars.
Right.
But they're not.
The big
They're not like would later on down the road,
a year, whatever.
Right, and that comes later on when you kind of prove and you've gone to the finals or the Super Bowl, whatever it is, right? So, I think it should be included in that,
in the contract,
right? Because if you really think about like the sports as a business in a sense, right?
Right.
So let's just say you're going to become a doctor, right?
Thank you.
And you become a doctor. How many people are around you?
Right.
That are preparing you for becoming a doctor.
Come on, man.
Right? And directing you in a certain way.
Right.
Right? That profession, I mean, you could take all the high dollar value, right? And I'm just talking high dollar value. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of people around that can help. Mm-hmm. And I feel like the sports, they just go, you can run, go out there and run.
Right.
You can shoot, go out there and shoot.
Right. You can pass. You can tackle.
Yeah. And it's just like, go do it now. And it's just like. You
can kick the ball. You can block the ball.
And
whatever.
It's almost like hands up.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Right. I gave you the money.
right? That's what it's the image that
It's
we're
a good
getting.
opportunity.
Yeah, it's the image that we're getting, right, from everywhere, and it's got to be true because if everywhere is.
But then on top of that, right? Just to add to your point, I want you to keep breaking this down. But then on top of that, you are now the face of the franchise, right? So when Ja Morant was drafted, he was drafted second overall. Zion Williamson has now been found and he was drafted first overall in the same draft, right? There was an argument. It was Ja, was it Zion, right? There was an argument as to who was better, but it didn't matter. Both of which were drafted to be the faces of their respective franchises. So it's not only are we drafting you and giving you this high dollar rookie deal, but you need to be XYZ. We need you to come in and do the promos. We need you to be available for interviews. We need you to be an outstanding citizen. We need you to do da 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 da. But you have to do it on your own, right? And of course, do they have team PR people? Of course, there's a PR person for every single professional team that's going to sit there and be like, don't say that, don't do that, right?
Right.
But I'm not talking about the team,
Not
the
the
overall.
You're talking about
team.
the individual.
And what I'm saying is, do you? And I'm not saying this to you. I know you get what I'm saying. But the financial part, the PR part, because man, when you come into a lot of money that you've never had, even now in the new age with the NIL deals, where you're getting money in college now, it's still a different level of responsibility when it's like you are the guy, and these are $billion businesses.
Yeah, you're putting a lot of pressure on that particular individual. Correct. Yeah. So you do. And that's why I'm in agreement. Like, it should be part of the contract.
Part
right?
of the contract.
So the financial part should be part of the contract.
Right.
Like, look, we are going to pay you $1 million a year. Okay? And that's your contract for the next 4 years. But we're also going to provide for you an accountant, financial advisor, and you guys can discuss what that looks like.
Right.
Right? So they have. It should be appointed. And even if that person, the financial advisor person, takes care of 5 or 6, 10 other players.
Right.
Fine. Like, I'm sure they can juggle all that. There's plenty of people that do this for a good amount of money anyways.
Right.
Right? So, but let it be part of the let the team pay for it. Or you know what I mean? So it's because it's part of the contract. So we're not going to give you $5 million. We're only giving you $1 million because we want you to be secure and set for how to handle the money that you will be receiving over the next 4 years. And then after that, you as a team, you should be good to go after that 4 years.
After 4 years. After
4
the
years,
rookie
yes.
I'm saying just specifically
that, yes.
for the rookie contract. Now, I also add this. I feel like, and that's why I said, if you don't have one, we'll appoint it to you. So I think it should be mandatory, like you said, within the contract. Within the contract, there is money that's being stipended towards you having these required members as a part of your team. Financial, PR, whatever, right? That's in the contract. So the money's going to be the same. If it's like you said, $1 million a year, that's what you're getting paid. And then on top of that, the extra $1 million, $2 million a year, whatever, is going towards these different people being in your circle, whether we appoint them to you or not. But you have to show us that you have somebody that's working with you, that you've hired through the stipend, right? And if you don't do that, then we're going to use the stipend for you to have protection. And it's really protection from yourself. It benefits the team, right? And it benefits the athlete.
Right.
Because now you're not walking in blind. Now you're not walking in saying, man, I got all this bread. I got all my homies around me. Everybody wants chips. You know, all the stories over the years of getting in trouble because of stupid things or, you know, handing out money because I need to feed everybody. No, you have somebody that's looking at it for you, that's helping you succeed.
Right.
That's helping you succeed. Now, what you do on the basketball court is going to help with your future money. But I'm, like you said, just for the rookie deal.
Right.
For the 4 years. And I don't think it should be for every single rookie. Right? I feel like you're a first round draft pick. That's 100% in the NBA. If you're a first 2 rounds in the NFL, that's 100%.
Yeah,
right? It just depends on the perspective sport.
And I get you, man. I wouldn't know how to break that down. So,
right.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how you would pick and choose, but let's just say rookies, just in general, most rookies would get this particular treatment, okay? Because it's part of the contract. Now, let's shift gears just a little bit from the financial side to the social media side, because I think this is just as important as the financial side. Man. I think they're, because I've known people, won't name names, but I've known people to have been fired from their job because of a social media post
1000%.
that they put out, right? And you go, for what? For what? What? You know?
Right.
And it's because whatever the company deems as this is negative towards us, we don't want to be a part of whatever it is, right? And okay, fine, that's that company's. You know, whether you agree or disagree with it, it's that company's ideology, whatever it is, right? You know, and it's fine. Okay. So to help me out as the NBA player rookie coming in, help me make sure that I don't mess up and help me with my social media
again.
And honestly, bro, I think it's more important than anything else, just because of the day and age that we live in.
I agree.
Right? Because you can just say something. It's not even, let's take the gun thing out of it, right? Like, you can just say something stupid and not necessarily mean it the way it came out.
Right.
And then you raked over the coals for it. And you're like, bro, I didn't even mean it like that. It was kind of like a joke.
Right.
And now everybody thinks I'm this type of person.
I'm this person, I'm that.
And I'm
right,
not
exactly.
that person,
Right.
you know. But again, it's the social media aspect. It's, unfortunately, it's just the society that we live in today.
Right.
Man, first of all, I would love a social media person for just us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And not even on that side, just to deal with, hey, let's post this. You know,
Exactly.
just, you know, I'll just take care of that for you.
But
whatever. Having that person go, look, man, you can't put that out.
No,
I know that's you, and that's your type. You know, maybe they go, it's your prerogative. But I'm telling you, that's not a good. It's not a good
filter
look
between you and the world. And then also, again, when you talk about being part of the team, because John Morant. The first post was him. The second post wasn't.
Right.
Was a friend. But this is where having a team, right, around you. So immediately, as you come into the league, we're going to sit down. And yes, is it a little invasive? Yes. Right?
Right.
But let's just keep it a buck, bro. And I know y'all don't want to hear it, but it's the truth. When you work high level, high visibility, right? Either or, they don't have to be the same. You can have high visibility and not have high level. And that's kind of the case in an NBA player, right? Because they're getting paid millions of dollars to kind of be the scrubs, right? They're not making decisions. So they have high visibility. Or you work high level. They want to know who you running with, bro. They want to know who's around you. Who was your mom's? What was her past? Your pops? Did you have any this? Were you going through this? Do you have an uncle that's hanging around you? This happens whether you're in the NBA, an actor, any type of entertainer or not. When you start getting into these high level lawyers, doctors, they want to know who the hell is around you because they have a brand. They have a company that they have to keep safe.
Right.
Right. And that is fair. Right. That is absolutely fair. So when you can appoint somebody who's a part of the NBA, but also has your best interest, right?
Right.
A third party, they're not really a part of the NBA. They're not but they're hired by the team, but they're not a part of the team.
Right.
Right. Who can come in and be like,
I think that's a good point.
who could come in and sit your who's around you?
It shouldn't be
and
part
now
of the
you
team.
No, it can't be part of the team. It's got to be a third party.
Right.
Right. And so they at the end of the day, everybody can wash their hands. Everybody can go, look, man, we did what we were supposed to do. NBA, the teams can go, man, we gave him all the tools, all the utensils that he needed. NFL can say the same. All these leagues teams can say the same thing. We gave them everything they needed.
Right.
And they messed up. So that's on them.
Right.
And you put that in the contract. You screw up, you ain't got no money. Right. And you could have somebody that come around and say, who's around you? Who's your circle? Okay, I need all of them to sit down and sign something for social media.
Man, that's a tough one though.
But people sign NDAs all the time.
No, I
people
get
sign
it.
people.
Trust me,
players have people sign NDAs all the time.
I'm not
personally,
disagreeing, but that's a tough pill to swallow. Like you said, for a lot of people that might not necessarily, because if I'm the cousin of somebody and I'm going to be like, what's in it for me? Why do I have to sign anything?
All it's saying, bro. But here's
Again,
the thing.
I'm just saying.
But this is how you put it in the contract. Again, right? Okay, fine.
Yeah, but that has to do with the person. I'm not in the NBA. I don't care.
I'm with you. You don't have to sign it.
Yeah.
You don't have to sign it. It's not a mandatory thing for the people around you to sign it. Right? But, again, let's put it in the contract. Now, if this doesn't happen, right, you have clauses. Okay, cool. Something happens, your homeboy posts something about you, you actually get in trouble for it. We research it, right? And we actually do an investigation and we find out that you was on some BS, right? And you were in the wrong. That's dollars and ducats for you.
Right. By the way,
so it still puts the onus on the player a little bit to be like, because even if they don't make him sign it, right? Even if they like, man, I don't want the homies to sign it. I don't really like that. It's a little invasive for me. But it's in the contract. You're gonna lose some money. Don't you think your mind goes, damn? If some goes down tonight, and I got whoopty wop with me, and I know how they are, you gonna think twice about it, bro.
Right. Yeah. Maybe you do. Maybe you don't.
When they start tapping at pockets, it feel a little different, bro.
That's true.
That's what I'm saying. So it doesn't have to be, the mandatory part is bringing the team in to have that protection, right?
Yeah.
What people actually sign to is on them. But there should also be, because, dude, you have this if somebody's been injured a bunch of times. You put clauses in the contract. You know what I'm saying? You put, if somebody's left leg gives out every other year.
So let me ask you this. So like, would like a mentor, like having a mentor be in that contract? Because that might be kind of key too. Maybe,
I think, go ahead.
And the only reason is really because they're young, bro. Like some of these dudes are super young, and just having that. And look at, man, it needs to be somebody outside of family. That doesn't mean to say mom isn't doing good, in raising you right, or dad, or, aunts, uncles, whatever, right? Brother, sister, doesn't, they can all be great people in your family. But having an outside perspective, look,
especially somebody who's done the same thing.
Right. Could be really helpful as well. Like,
now, I don't know if that needs to be in the contract,
but I just think because mentors, man, could really help. You know what I mean? Just from a different 1,000% a different perspective, or like you said, look, man, I was in the NBA. I only played for this month, but I have a wealth of knowledge.
Right.
Let me just kind of pass this along to you.
Right.
Let's meet up, once a month or something.
Whatever.
Or once every couple of weeks when you're in town, we'll chop it up and da-da-da-da.
Right.
So that's kind of part of it, I think, too, like having somebody in your corner.
For sure.
I want to get back to the social media real quick.
Okay.
Just don't do social media. I wanted to ask, though, seriously, on a serious note, do you personally follow any athletes on social medias? any social media? Do you follow athletes?
Mm,
I don't. So
not really.
yeah, because see, my thing is this: you're already plastered everywhere. You're already on ESPN, Fox, Fox Sports, and NBC, whatever,
NBC, ESPN,
all that stuff, right?
ABC,
You're
ABC,
everywhere. You're plastered everywhere.
TNT.
They're gonna, you the star of that. You have a social media presence that
Right.
you don't even have to be a part of.
Technically, yes.
People are going to talk about you anyways.
1000%.
But then they're going to talk about your game and
Right.
how you shot, how you how you defended, all that kind of stuff.
Right.
So I'm just be like, my advice for anybody be just stay away from it, bro.
And I don't look, man. I don't blame the players, man. I don't blame, because look, it is dope to have accessibility to your fans and your supporters. That's dope.
Or just have somebody run it
But
for
again,
you. I'd have somebody run it.
that's what I'm
for
saying.
me.
It's checks
Just
and
have
balances,
somebody-
man.
Yeah, just have somebody
Checks
run
and
it for
balances. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then as far as a mentor, I think a lot of teams do that, where they obviously bring in some of the old school greats.
Yeah, they do.
You know what I'm saying?
And
that's really up to the player to
I'm a Lions fan, and I know Barry Sanders sticks around the Lions.
And Calvin Johnson's been showing up as of recent.
So it's just like that's cool, because
Yeah.
it could give, I've been here,
right? And that's kind of a personal thing. You gotta vibe with whoever whoever the mentor is.
That's true.
But I think the other stuff is really business. It's like, okay, man, this is like you said, man, social media is huge, man. That's a PR move.
Yeah.
That's a PR move, man. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Having an accountant, financial advisor, man, this is all business. This is all smart move. Whether you're trying to invest and become a businessman or not, or whether you're just trying to make your money do what it's supposed to do while you have it. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? It all goes together. And I really think that we should invest in these young men and women a lot better, man, because it is the only job, high level, high paying job, where you do not provide provide everything, all kind of coverage, bro.
Right.
All kind of coverage. Everywhere else is like, yo, we got you on this, and this. Anything happens. Now, if you so far left, we ain't got you no more.
Right.
And you got to know that. Right.
And just talk about having the microscope put on you too.
Right.
You're constantly being pressured upon to not just perform as an athlete, but performing outside of the court, whatever field, whatever.
You got to talk well. You got to maintain.
Yeah.
You got to maintain a certain type of presence. You got to agree with certain things that maybe you don't agree with just because that's the status quo. Like there's so much that these athletes have to deal with.
I could never do it. I could never.
It's impossible.
I could never do it. Like I give.
How do you feel about da-da-da?
Because let me give a props to most athletes, anyways.
Right.
Most athletes do just fine.
Yep.
They really do.
Especially now. Right. With the information they have and all that. Yeah.
Are there things that happen and people always do weird stuff no matter what. But man, just talk about like being under the thumb of these corporations, because that's what they are. These big corporations, the NFL, NBA, the MLB, they're all just they're massive corporations, man.
Yeah.
And then you have media on top of that,
man,
scrutinizing every single move that you do,
right,
on and off court.
Yeah,
crazy.
It's
wild. And I agree though that there needs to be something in a contract that says, hey, we're giving you money, but we're paying you less because we got to provide this for you, so you get it right. And you go down. We give you, like you said, you said it towards the top. We're giving you every possibility. If you screw it up, that's on you.
That's on you.
That's on you. At that point, like, that's it.
And I also think it should be great, like, for the player. Now, on the flip side of it, the player should have certain things that's put in the contract.
Of course.
Right?
Yeah.
So when media comes after them, so when stories come about, they can't just get punished for nothing.
Right.
There has to be a lengthy investigation. Maybe it has to. You have to point to some type of code of conduct.
Mm-hmm.
You have to point to some type of policy and procedure. You can't just say it looks bad,
right,
and then punish me,
right.
Yeah, it just looks bad. Well, okay, did I violate? Did I break a law? Right. Did I violate the code of conduct? Right. If I did not, then I should not have to be punished.
Right. I agree with you because it's like if there's nothing,
because man, they be coming head over shoulders, man, to come get these guys up out of there.
Right. I agree. Like there should be something and saying, no guns whatsoever.
Right.
Nowhere. Don't no nothing. Just so if it appears anywhere,
man,
you're being suspended. I'm sorry,
man.
Again,
what's the difference between what Ja Morant did versus what maybe somebody going out to the shooting range? Or somebody being like, yo, I just picked up.
And how many times have we seen just videos of people on a shooting range or whatever, shooting a gun or whatever?
What the hell is the difference?
Yeah, right.
Because now you're assuming what the message is.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
But
yeah.
So there's got to work. There's got to be a code of conduct and some sort of policy and procedure into place. Correct.
1,000%.
But I think above all, I think these contracts should be rewritten and redesigned for rookies in particular. And it really comes down to two things: money and social media.
Yeah. And it's really for the benefit of the player.
Correct. It should be for the benefit of the player. It's for the benefit
because what benefits the player is going to benefit the organization.
Right.
And they're always trying to put some shit in there so you can't get no money.
You're balling out, man. You're going to make
50. I mean, now it's like 100. Shit. I mean,
and you should be well set up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like typically no problem.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like as far as like financially and social media wise goes. Now,
right.
You make some stupid mistake and and it happens.
Yeah.
But anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you guys think? Let us know.
Let us know.
Are we dumb?
Are we tripping? Is it invasive? Is it you know what I mean? Like, what do y'all think about having a team for these young men and women? But I'm saying specifically the young men, NFL, NBA, all of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. You guys stay safe. You guys stay positive out there.
And as always, this is the Gray Space. Peace.